So in my other video, which I will link above, we talked about why short naps happen. Today, we're going to talk about nap rescues and what to do when your child is waking up after only about 30 minutes. So if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Jensine. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, certified postpartum doula, and mom of three who takes sleep science and real life strategies, pairs them together to get you the sleep your family deserves. So short naps are always a big topic because it is really hard to get anything done when your child naps for 27 minutes on the dot. And yes, I had one of these nappers too. So I learned all of these short nap strategies in order to be able to get him to sleep longer so that no nap was ever under an hour. And you can get so much more done in an hour than you can in 27 minutes. So the good news is if your child ever sleeps for longer than 30 minutes, that means they are able to string 2 sleep cycles together, which is what we need to have happen for an hour plus nap. They just didn't that time. So our goal is to get them to be able to string 2 or more sleep cycles together so that they can sleep a longer nap. And we don't have to worry. We don't have to freak out if occasionally a nap is under 30 minutes, but we do want to look into that. If every nap is only 30 minutes, your child's sleep cycle is probably somewhere between 25 to 37 minutes, and you can time it by your watch exactly when they'll wake up. So we don't want to panic if this is happening. It doesn't mean that something is wrong. We just need some strategy behind what to do when that does happen. So when your child first wakes up at the 30-minute mark, do not just assume that the nap is over. Give them some time to see what they're going to do. Often when I'm working with families one-to-one, what I always tell them is first, it's going to seem like 2 segmented naps. We're going to have one 30-minute nap. There's going to be a gap in the middle where they're awake. Maybe they need some help. Maybe they don't. And then we're going to get another 30-minute nap. Eventually, what's going to happen is that break in the middle is going to drop off and it's just going to be one continuous nap. But there is going to be some time as they're learning to string sleep cycles together for naps that there is this time in the middle. So when they wake up, do not just automatically run in and assume that the nap is over. Give them 5-10 minutes, depending on what they're doing, to be able to figure it out on their own, to say, okay, yes, I'm definitely awake, or you know what? I'm kind of still tired. I could put myself back to sleep. Many babies do have a light transition of sleep when they wake up from that first nap. And if we give them the time and the space, then they can get themselves back into sleep. But if we just rush in and assume the nap is over too fast, then once they see you, the nap is over. Their favorite person just walked into the room. Why would I ever try to nap? I want to hang out with that person. So definitely give them that 5-10 minutes. Again, depending on how they're reacting. If they're calm and quiet, you can give them longer. If they are losing their mind and screaming, then you definitely want to get them sooner rather than later. So the next thing that we want to think about is if they are fully awake during that middle space, then we have a couple of options. You can either rescue the nap, which would mean that you would give them, pick them up to hold them for the rest of the nap, pop them in the car seat, in the stroller, whatever it is. Or you can just say, okay, the nap is going to be over and we are going to move on with our day and I'm going to move the next nap up. We never want to adjust the next sleep situation, whether it be a nap or bedtime, up by more than 30 minutes. So we can keep naps on a schedule and their circadian rhythm set, because we don't want it to be short naps are causing havoc on the rest of the day. And sometimes bedtime is at 5 p.m. and sometimes bedtime is at 8 p.m. We need that bedtime anchored in so we can do small adjustments to naps, but nothing crazy. So if we rescue that nap, which is get them back to sleep in a way that we know that they will fall back to sleep, it's going to preserve that bedtime and we're going to keep it on the exact same schedule. If we call it a nap, get them up, then we have to shorten the next wake window because they didn't have as long of a nap to get them to that next nap. So it really kind of depends on your child's age, on the day, what you have going on, which nap it is. The first morning nap, I would definitely recommend calling it a nap, because that nap, I like that to be our skills nap. We're practicing how to get down on our own, and we're practicing how to keep ourselves down. So if they aren't able to get themselves back down to sleep, then we call it a nap. And the rest of the naps, we focus on getting them the sleep that they need, which might mean that they're a little bit longer because that first nap was so short. But if this is the last nap of the day, then we don't have the time for them to kind of figure it out. We either, depending on what time that nap is and how old they are, we get them that more sleep right away, or maybe it's freezing out, you can't do a stroller walk. We just say, oh, too late. I'm going to get you to bed a little bit earlier. So if you are struggling with knowing what is our best option, how do we do this? Please know that this is exactly what I work with families on. I do not want you to be constantly doing math, trying to figure out how to schedule your day around short naps. So you can always go down below to the description. It has how to work with me. I would love to be able to chat with you about your little one so we can solve this nap problem. And you're not constantly having to guess, and you're knowing exactly what your day is going to look like based on your child having hour-plus naps. So the last thing to think about is that parents usually kind of panic around the short naps, and they change the entire schedule around based on these short naps. And that is not what you want to do. We don't want to base one rough day and kind of make that the norm. We want to have a plan, which is, this is what I will do if this nap is short. I will rescue it. Well, first I will leave them, then I will rescue it, or I will call it a nap and move them up, move the next bedtime up. But we don't want to worry that this is going to be the thing and just assume all of their naps are going to be short, pick them up right away at the end of that 30 minutes. And then we do start a trend where your child does then only nap for 30 minutes. So really have in place, what if this nap were to be short, what am I going to do about it? Because having the plan is going to decrease the likelihood that this is going to continue. But if we just keep going in right at that 30-minute mark, that's going to ensure that your child is going to continue to do short naps. So notice the difference, and notice that having a plan is really going to make all of the difference. So I'm just going to check my notes, make sure that I covered everything, but we really want to be able to know why this is so important and be able to kind of stop the bleeding so that you can get things done during the day, because you deserve to have that rest just as much as they do. So again, if you are struggling, please go down to the description, book a one-to-one call. I would love to chat with you so these are no longer an issue in your house. If you have any questions, as always, pop them below in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.